what's up everybody? Tony LeBlanc here from the Doorpreneur, back again today with another exciting video tutorial on Monday.com. And today we're going to talk about onboarding clients, more specifically for us property managers, how to onboard new owners. So in this session, I'm going to group together a few different really interesting ways of onboarding new owners, because I've been getting a lot of questions recently about how do you onboard people? And I've been also getting a lot of questions about process management within the Monday framework. So I figured I would try to kill two birds with one stone and combine the two, because they're actually quite closely used in a real world environment. So typically what happens is, I get a lead that comes into my management business, and that lead goes into some sort of system, some sort of CRM that gets tracked. From there, I can have a checklist of things that get done in order to qualify and to close that lead. And then the real work starts onboarding the new owner. So usually there's an extensive checklist of things that need to be done by a lot of different people, whether it's got to do with the contact information, the technology involved, the accounting, the property details, getting the keys. There's I've seen some pretty extensive onboarding lists for new owners. But what I'm going to show you guys today is a way that you can utilize Monday to completely track and automate a lot of that information. And so yeah, we're going to jump right in. So I'm going to just face my screen here and we'll kind of go through it. So what we have starting out is there's going to be a few different boards that I'm going to be using throughout this tutorial. So the first one is what I call my new management pipeline. So that's simply a staging area for me to be able to track my leads, track what stage they're in terms of the sales cycle, and just always to know what's going on, what's outstanding, what business is coming in. If I have multiple agents working out in the field for me, kind of knowing what's going on with them, how many leads they're working on, all that good stuff. The second thing that I have in here is what we call template. So I have this board that's a new owner template. So whenever I win over a lead and we close the sale, I want to automatically be able to trigger an instance of this template that gives me a whole slew of things for either myself or my staff to be able to get done. So I'm going to walk you through the workflow of start to finish, how this all works. So again, the lead comes into your business, can come in through phone, through email. I'm not going to go talk about all that stuff, but starting point is we have a new lead. Okay, so what I've done here is I've created a very simple board that's got three different sections. We've got new leads that are now in progress, maybe call those prospects, and then I've got here anything that I've won. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new lead. What I've done here is my first entry is actually a template in itself. So you can do it that way, or you can start new, but I'm just going to choose to duplicate that template. I'm going to then rename it, and I'm going to say I'm the new lead. Sub items, that's going to, again, that's why I wanted to use the template, because I have some pre-configured checklist items that I want to do or make sure that I get done once the lead is fully complete. So here I've just got an extra little checkbox that says check on the questionnaire. After, let's say, I'm going to say by mid-Wednesday, I want to make sure that that's in. And I'm actually going to set it as a deadline. So then it's going to actually notify me when that's done. So the nice thing about this sub task is I can see the status on my main task here. So you can see the sub items and the questionnaire status. I can see that it's waiting. Other columns that I've added, so I'm the person that's been assigned this lead. It's a new lead, so I'm going to say this is a $1,000 lead. The priority, I'm going to say it's medium. So first name, I'm going to put in the last name, I'm going to put in my email, just put my here, tiny ground floor. And the next action. So I'm going to want to probably call this person in by Tuesday. So I'm going to set an action there to make sure that I reach out to them. So time goes by, I've had the call, I've won the business. Okay, fantastic. So I now go back into Monday. All I need to go do at this point, I can go in and I can write some notes if I wanted to. Say, had a great call with prospect. Excited to work with them. Perfect. I'm going to update that. And that is now going to be stored inside of that entry. Now really all I have to do is change the overall status of the task, because now I'm going to basically trigger off a sequence of events that are going to happen. So when I change the status to 1, what I want to happen is I want an email to automatically go out to my prospect for them to fill out a full-fledged questionnaire that gives me all of the details with regards to them as well as the property that we're taking over. So in this instance, I just kept it within the scope of I want to collect all their property insurance information. So I want to know who's the insurance carrier. I want to copy their policy. When does it expire? The policy date. And just as a way to kind of show you the power of what you can do. So what I've done is in my owner's board, so essentially where all of this is going to happen, I've structured this board in such a way that it has a bunch of information: the first name, last name, phone number, email, full address, property count, insurance information. And the beauty about Monday is I can take that information and I can turn it into a form. And this form looks like this. So it's a form that they fill out, puts all the information. So it's provided in a URL. So what I've done is in my pipeline is I've created an automation that says when the status is 1, send an email to that prospect or that owner. And here's what my email says. It says, thank you. Thank you again for putting your trust in our company. Please fill in the questionnaire below so that we can get things started right away. And I simply put in the URL that I built out from my previous board. Because when they fill that out, it creates a new entry into my owner's board. So I'm going to change the status to 1. And then you're going to see a few things happen here in the board. So I'm going to click 1. So it now automatically gets triggered or transferred down to my 1 section. And on the back end, an email was sent to that owner with that questionnaire link. So I'm going to pull up my questionnaire. I've pre-filled this out just to save time. So it's got all the information. I put in a new name and stuff. But essentially what they're going to do is then submit that information. I go back into Monday and I go into my owner's board, and then all of a sudden a new entry just came in from Mike Carpenter. So I'm going to go in here and change that to the proper name. And then now I have a new owner that's been brought in. So I'm going to say I'm the account manager. I can set this as an automation to automatically set this as active. And now I have all of those answered questions within each one of my rows, or each one of my columns, sorry. So I've got their address, their property count, gives me a total number of units that I have now, what insurance company they're with, their policy numbers, when they renew, and I've got actually copies of their insurance policies, so I can just click over this and I can actually see a preview of their insurance policy. Super, super powerful. Last thing that I would probably do is create a new, when their start date is. So in this case, I'm going to put August 1st. So just like that, a new owner is now added to my owner database. Once we have the new owner, we now got a lot of work to do. So again, it could involve a lot of different people. So in the background, I had a new owner board created right here. So new owner board template, was now created, and it's created a new board under my onboarding process section. So it created it based on the new owner name, which was myself. And now I have a completely new set of checklists that I have to take care of for that owner. So I've created a very simple one here. So it's got two sections: contact information and technical details. So whether you're assigning that to yourself, or you can have this predefined to assign to a staff member, whoever you like. I've also added a column here for a manager. So maybe you want somebody overseeing the overall activities, or maybe not. It's completely up to you. So what you can do is, as you do these tasks, you just check them off, and then you can see here, you can keep track of what's been done. You can set due dates if you want, and then once the due dates are set, you can actually set deadlines so that it sends you reminders as to when these things need to get done. I've also put an example here. So one of my tasks that I have to do, or I'm going to assign to one of my staff members, is to add the information in the Buildium, which happens to be our property management software. So you can see here where it says sub-items, there's a little 3. So this tells me that there's 3 other subtasks that need to be done. So I break it down even further. So create the new owner, check off to send a welcome letter, add the banking information for deposits. So again, you just check off that they're all done, close that up, and then I can see here a summary that says 3 of 3 of my subtasks have been completed. Perfect, quick visibility. Now I can check all these off, and just like that, I've now completed the onboarding process for that owner. Once this is all complete, I can then set up another automation that notifies maybe my manager and says, hey, FYI, the onboarding procedure for new owner XYZ is now complete. And the life cycle, or the workflow of onboarding a new owner, is now complete, all within the confines and the context of Monday.com. So as a summary, pipeline. New lead comes in through a pipeline, it gets tracked. You can build out that board to have whatever information you want. This was just some kind of boilerplate information that we would like to see. Once the business is won, it sends an email out to the owner, fill in this questionnaire. He then gets added to my owner board, and at the same time, an onboarding process gets created and gets assigned to the appropriate staff. It's as simple as that. And this whole concept of these processes that you need to have automated based on certain conditions. So there's a lot of people out there that talk about process.st, Asana, and different other tools. Well, Monday.com also has a very extensive framework that you can build out these types of scenarios to, where you can create an extensive checklist, make a template out of it, and then you can recreate instances out of that template automatically based on what's going on, based on status changes, based on updates, all sorts of different information. And it's killer. This process alone has helped me as a management company owner be able to finally kind of take a grasp of that whole system, and more so for accountability. Let's face it, there's a lot of stuff going on. We're usually pretty busy, and sometimes we lose track of certain things. And it's like, oh, I forgot to get a void check from them, the day before that I'm supposed to be sending them their cash flow. Or it's like, they only gave me a front door key when they didn't give me a mailbox key, and now I got to go chasing after it because I just rented it and the tenant's asking. So this is an amazing way to be able to create and track the entire process within a board, template it, and then you can reuse it anywhere you want. So hope you guys like this. I hope this is of value to you guys. If you're not, if you're a Monday.com user and you want to know more about how to implement this, just send me an email, tony@doorpreneur.com, or leave me a message on this video, wherever it may be, whether if it's on YouTube or within an email context, you can do that. If you're not a Monday.com user and you are drooling at being able to get access to something like this, please send me an email, tony@doorpreneur.com, and I'd love to be able to set you up with a trial and implement this for you, and then you can then see if it's a good fit for your business. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Cheers.